Okay, before I start this video,
Hey,
guys
Mr.
can say hi.
Lee, what's good? How's it going?
okay, now onto the tutorial. To calculate velocity of a projectile, you have to take the angle and find the components of it using trigonometry to find the initial velocity, and then from there, in the vertical component, you have to factor in gravity and how that changes the acceleration. So in question 21 of the AP test, a cannonball is shot from the top of a 30-meter high hill at a velocity of 25 meters per second and at an angle of 40 degrees above the horizontal and lands on the ground below. The speed of the cannonball at the top of the path is most nearly, and then it gives the multiple choice options. So to start with this problem, we know that the acceleration vector is equal to 0 on the horizontal because there's no horizontal force acting on it, and negative 10 on the vertical to account for the force of gravity. Or 10 times whatever the mass is. But we'll consider that later, and we'll see that it doesn't really affect the answer of this problem. So the velocity is going to be equal to, so we're looking for the velocity at the top of its path. And we know that in this case, at the top of its path, the vertical component of the velocity will be equal to 0 because it'll be when, shut up. I know how to solve this, I was just explaining. I'm so good at physics, guys. Keep talking, shut up. I'm gonna edit this all out, I don't care. I don't care, I'll edit this out. Don't, just leave it, alright. So at this point, at the top of its path, the velocity on the horizontal will be equal to 0 because it's when it changes from moving upwards due to the initial velocity upwards that it had to going downwards due to the acceleration applied by gravity. So all we really need at this point is the velocity in the vertical, or in the horizontal, sorry, which is a constant, which is just 25 cosine 40, which we found earlier. And if you do the calculations for that, that is equal to 19 meters per second.